Hi guys. Happy Saturday. Happy Sunday for those who are on the other side of the world. Um, so interesting today. Today's the last day that the moon will be in Cancer, so it's actually void right now. But we do have that grand water trine that's happening. It feels um, it doesn't feel like soupy or sludgy or anything like that. It actually feels more like everybody's emotions are right on the edge of, like, you can trigger somebody like that and they will pop off at you. Like, not even trying to. It's really funny because I actually went to the grocery store this morning. I got up really early, did my yoga, went to the grocery store. I was like, I'm going to hit all this before anybody's out and about, because the divine feminine energy is going through this huge, massive cleansing. And when I say divine feminine energy, I don't just mean women. Because we all hold divine feminine energy, even if you're a man. So this is actually for you as well, because all of this really watery energy, and the way that Venus is conjuncting with Saturn, and Venus is conjuncting with Pluto, and Venus is opposite the moon right now. So it's and when Venus and the moon are opposite, it's almost like a cat fight, you know. So there's a lot of feminine energies that are at play right now, and that's really, I feel like that's really happening because we had this really big high level purge with a lot of energy and logic and what we're holding on to and all of that stuff. Now we actually have to feel it. And it's so uncomfortable as a Virgo to say, now we have to feel all of our emotions. When I do the Virgo readings and I have to tell Virgos that they have to feel this month, it's like, please don't yell at me. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what you need to know, right? So that's sort of, just be aware of when the emotions are surfacing. If you feel like, if you feel the emotions starting to surface and you're doing like an old pattern of shoving them down or swallowing them, or just you know what I mean when I say swallowing them, you get that lump in your throat and you really want to cry, but you're kind of like trying to be really strong. And I want to tell you that it is not strong to hold back emotions. It's actually more harmful and toxic for you to hold back emotions. And the other thing that I'm really noticing right now is people are, how do I put this? It seems like the way that we're all interacting with each other is very much like, this is my space, okay, how do I want to put this energy that I'm feeling? It's so hard to put into words. It's very territorial. That's really the word that I'm looking for. It's very territorial. And while it's really good to be aware of yourself, and it's really good to hold your boundaries, and it's really good to keep your space, what it's supposed to be doing, keep your space there. It's like, when you're watching Dirty Dancing and he's like, this is your space, this is my space, don't come into my dance. That's sort of what like, it's okay to keep your space. It's okay to keep your distance, but you don't have to be mean about it. And I've also noticed that when you do set boundaries, you're going to find out really fast right now, when you set boundaries, who is for you and who is against you. Even people that you thought would be okay with the boundary that you're setting, because that's actually a huge respect on your part to look at somebody and say, I'm not trying to be mean to you. I'm not trying to be like rude or anything, but this is my boundary and it's hard. It's a hard line. You can't cross it. Please don't do it. Like, I've actually noticed then when you set the boundary, and that person, it's not that it's not that they're disrespecting it. They're just like, yeah, whatever, I'm not going to deal with you. Like, you set that boundary. That's not a boundary I even want to, like, I don't even know how to approach you with that. That's how you're really going to find out who is on your team and who's not on your team right now. I know that I've actually like had to make people aware of certain boundaries in my life. And I literally, it's like one day I was like, listen, I'm going to say this. and like let y'all, at least I'm being honest and at least I'm letting you know. And then literally it's like they're gone like the next day. And it's really strange. It's like vetting. It's almost as if you're having to vet your friendships, vet the people that are in your life, because and it's not very hard to do right now. It's really, really not hard to recognize who is going to be on your team and who's not going to be on your team going into 2020. That can bring up a lot of emotions too. If you're having a hard time with relationships and people, it seems like people are falling off or you're losing people from your circle, you have to understand that that's how we're making room, right? Rejection is protection. That's how we're making room for all of the new people and all of the new things and all of the new stuff that's coming into our life. Okay. Before I get started with the cards, because we are going to do a reading, before I do that, I want to mention to everybody, don't forget to sign up for the meditation that is tomorrow night. Again, the last 3 meditations of the year, and they just say generic meditations. We are going to be doing like different things in them. They're not going to be the same meditation for the next 3 weeks, but I didn't have a chance to like pretty up the images and stuff. But the last 3 meditations are available to register for, or you can just get the one for tomorrow night. It's totally up to you how you want to do that. The $30 one question readings, I did restock those, and we'll be sending the videos out in 2 days on Monday. So if you want to get a $30 one question reading, now is the time to do that. The jewelry, still have a couple of necklaces left, still have a few rings left as well. I will be announcing a new ring in the new year. So these won't be available once they're gone, they're gone. I don't know that we're going to make any more of the rings anytime soon. I think we're going to go back to doing pendants and crystals. So if you want to get a ring, now's the time to do it. It's on sale. Also, I have 2 spots left for 2019 for readings. They're 30 minutes. And then I'm going to start scheduling for 2020. So that's really fun and exciting too. So I want to let you guys know like all the little things. I'm trying to think if I forgot anything. Oh, if you have not had a chance to watch the workshop that I did, the self-alignment workshop, teaching you the ways that you might be blocking yourself. It's only $44 for the replay. Get that before the end of the year, because the new workshop is I'm actually going to roll that out. I keep saying I'm going to do it each week, and then I have to know, it has to feel like the right time to do it. And I feel like everybody's so rushed with Christmas anyways. But I think I'm going to have a special offer for those that get it at the end of the year. So yeah, anyway, all of that stuff is on my website in the description box. Oh, the Aries 2020 forecast reading is up. I don't know why I am invisible to YouTube. If you guys could do me a favor and hit the like button for me, maybe leave a comment, just an emoji is a great comment as well. That can help get me back into the YouTube stream. I'm not too worried about it, but I'm like lost in, I feel like I got lost in the matrix somewhere, because some of the things that I talk about are sort of controversial. So I feel like I sort of got lost in the matrix, but with your help, share the video. If I've been helpful to you this year and you're not particularly ready for a reading, donations for the channel are always appreciated, loved, and totally and completely respected. The information to donate to the channel is also in the description box. And I'll also put the donate thing in one of the first comments too. Okay. And this is very clear from like what I was saying before, with all of this like feminine energy that's sort of swimming around above us right now. We have the 5 of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and the 4 of Swords. And this is exactly what I mean by, you've got to know who you are right now. You really have to. And if you don't know who you are, if you're not really confident with the person that you are, that the workshop would really help. The meditations would really help. That's how I can give back to you to help you find out what your purpose is, to find out how you're blocking yourself. But if you're a person that is having a really hard time with your identity right now, now is the time for you to pull back and relax and start meditating and getting in touch with your center, really. And it's the perfect time to do that, because this divine feminine energy that is swirling around us so hardcore is supporting you in releasing all of that stress, all of that tension. You know, I told you guys the story of when, you know, I had a really bad, I don't know if I told you the story or not. My neck was really, really tense for like a week. And at the end, I didn't feel like I was stressed out. Everything was going smoothly, yada, yada, yada. And at the end of the week, I just burst into tears for no reason. And probably because I was triggered somehow, I don't remember. But after crying for like a good 20 minutes, that tension was gone. So we often really hold our stress and our tension and our emotions in parts of our bodies. And when we do that, and like after that tension released, I think I actually got a cold the next week. So we're building toxins in our muscles when we hold stress there. And then when we release it and that adrenaline rush is gone, right? The adrenaline rush from releasing the emotions, because that actually happens, you can get sick. And since right now it's very easy for you to get sick, this is why I want you to stay in touch. It's very healthy for you to be aware of your emotions and staying in touch with them. It's very healthy to do that. So allowing yourself in the midst of all of it and knowing who you are and really standing your ground. Standing your ground doesn't necessarily mean that you have to debate everybody. It doesn't mean that you have to use your energy to argue with everyone. We're going to go through one more and see if we want to get one more card. Yep, I had a feeling there was going to be another couple or three. Okay. But there is a, well, hot diggity damn. There you go. Exactly. You don't have to spend your energy being angry at things. You know, there's a lot of stuff in this world where, you know, the book Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. There's a lot of stuff in this world that we really get ourselves worked up over for absolutely no reason. Because then in hindsight, you're looking at that and you're like, now, did I get angry at that because maybe I felt like I was being attacked in some way? Or am I just outright angry because it's immoral in my eyes? It doesn't look right in my eyes, right? Like, for example, you can turn the news on and the first sentence or two that comes out of the news anchor's mouth, you're automatically angry. And putting yourself in that kind of position, or you read something on the internet and you allow that defensive nature in you come up and come out, and you're automatically spending your energy defending something that had absolutely nothing to do with you. You just felt like you needed to get into the fight, and then you get mad at whoever wants to debate with you, right? That is so common right now, for people to insert themselves into other people's lives for absolutely no reason. Like, did I ask you for your opinion right now? No, that's happening all over the place. So this 5 of Wands is like widespread. It's all over the place. The 9 of Pentacles and the 7 of Cups. Some of you are becoming single or have recently become single, and now you're having to learn how to love yourself. You're having to learn how to defend yourself, how to love yourself, how to I actually want to say, for some of us, like, fend for yourself, right? So we have the 9 of Pentacles and the 7 of Cups. And then over here, the 3 cards that I was like, I know there's something else that wants to come out. There was really something else that wanted to come out. Some of you haven't left yet, and it's coming. Whether this is a job, a relationship, a friendship, a family situation, whether it doesn't even matter, right? But the 8 of Cups and the Tower and the World all coming out. This is very telling. If you don't walk away from whatever that's holding you back, maybe it's a whole ideal system. Maybe you are boxing yourself into a situation thinking that's all you can do. The energy right now is, especially with this eclipse coming, sorry, I have something on my lip. It's kind of driving me crazy, sorry. The energy right now is all about release. And it's not just because it's the end of the year. A lot of people don't start celebrating the new year until March, when like the astrological new year starts, you see. It's not just about it being the end of the year. It's not just about it being fresh starts in 2020. That's not what this is about. This is about, you've been holding on to a grudge, you've been holding on to a relationship, you've been holding on to a situation for far too long, and now the universe is going to intervene. And what that means is just a very uncomfortable situation, and you will be forced to walk away from it. Something that you have been getting the nudge to release for a really long time, and now you're being forced to do it. All right, let's clarify. Some of you are doing really well monetarily and emotionally having, like, I feel like some of you are having temper tantrums emotionally, and maybe even all on your own, like without anybody being around, you're just sort of throwing a fit, which I like to do on a regular basis because nobody else needs to be the subject of the disapproval that I have in life. I just, whatever, right? The 9 of Cups on the 5 of Wands. All right, so here's the thing, you guys. Sometimes what you really, really want and what you're really fighting for to get what you want is not necessarily the best for you. Some of you have been really fighting to get somewhere, or to get to a particular situation or a particular moment, and I mean, like, it's almost as if you're fighting in vain at this point. You don't even need to anymore because you're not going to get it anyway. So why do you keep fighting? And, man, let your intuition take the wheel right now. Some of you know that there has to be a change already with the High Priestess and the Death card. Some of you are recognizing about yourselves that you have got to give back. You have to start filling up your cup. Something has to change, right? That's what the Death card is saying. Not necessarily end, maybe. Like I said, some of you are actually ending a situation. If you're not entirely sure the decision that you need to make in this, if you're not entirely sure, my advice that I'm going to give to you is to get quiet. And by getting quiet, you just have to remove the chaos of the world. That doesn't mean that your mind is going to shut down. And when those crazy thoughts start coming up in your mind when you're trying to get quiet, because people will say it all the time, I'm not meditating because I can't relax, I can't quiet my brain. You're not really supposed to. You're supposed to catalog your thoughts. You're supposed to let the meditation help you catalog your thoughts. And you say, okay, I'm going to deal with that situation. I know I don't have control over it. I know there's nothing I can do. I literally imagine, this is my Virgo coming out, you guys. Maybe even my Mars and Cancer are coming out. But I literally imagine a file drawer in my brain, kind of like, and I'm about to age myself, kind of like in the library when they used to have those card drawers where in the Dewey Decimal System, and they had the card. That's my brain. That's how I catalog all of my thoughts when I'm in meditation. So something comes up and I'm like, okay, I know that I need to deal with that. I don't have control over it. Done, right? So some of you, and that's how you're going to ease your way out of this. And some of you have been detouring around this situation for so long, and now you can't detour anymore. You have to go through it. You detour around it, and then you're like, why does this keep coming back to me? Why does this lesson keep coming back to me? I mean, pick an element, person, place, or thing. Doesn't matter what the doesn't matter what the lesson is, doesn't matter what the situation is. If it keeps coming back to you over and over and over again, there's a reason for it. It's because you haven't learned it yet. You see? And in order for you to ease your way, you have to know who you are, who you inherently are, and you have to know that you're already abundant. But you can't skip the steps anymore. That Nine of Pentacles, every time I see the Nine of Pentacles, I think of the thing that I tell everybody. It is your divine birthright to be abundant and happy in this lifetime. Your abundance and happiness looks different than somebody else's. And you can no longer gauge what your happiness and abundance is supposed to look like based on an outside circumstance or an outside person. Now you have to go through it and you have to see where your abundance and happiness is on your own, because we all have a birthright to it. It's just different than everybody else's. So we often think that other people are, I mean, like I see celebrities on TV and stuff and their houses and all the things that they're doing and all of that stuff. And I'm just like, that looks exhausting. Like, I don't know if I could have a life like that because that looks fucking exhausting and I need a nap. Like just by watching it, right? And if you're not entirely sure, because I feel like with this over here, the reason why this has been looming, this ending, and it's not going to be a fun ending for some people, but I feel like this ending has been looming for a while. And if you don't know how to go about fixing it, or you don't know what you're supposed to do to guide yourself out of the situation you're in, I literally am hearing the words. I'm literally hearing the words, go back to the beginning. Go back to how everything started. Go back to the foundation of it. Go back all the way to when you began this lesson, whether it was months ago, weeks ago, days ago, years ago. I don't care if it was a decade ago. And if you can't go back that far because you can't remember back that far like me, then figure out that spot where it started. And that Three of Pentacles is saying, start the building process over again. Start from square one. And for some of us, that's going to mean that you have to completely wipe the idea of how you wanted things to look in your life, completely wipe it and start over again. It's like ripping off a fresh sheet of paper and having a blank slate and allowing yourself, because I feel like for some of you, that's literally about to happen. I mean, this feels very reminiscent to, I had everything removed from my life, except I still had my kids. Like everything was removed from my life in 2016 and 2017. And by the end of 2017, I was already in the process of rebuilding. And it's taken me a very long time. It's taken me several years to get there. But it doesn't feel like it's been several years. That's the catch here, you guys, is I know that I've jumped timelines so much because when I started the rebuilding process, I was millions of miles away from where I am right now. And the growth through that is so transformational that you will like look back from where you are right now. You'll look back in time and be like, damn, I really pulled myself out of that. But you have to start at the beginning. You have to start somewhere. I'm going to clarify these three, although I don't really feel like I need to, but we'll make it the last card. So the Tower, the World, and the Eight of Cups. Okay. So some of you, and then the Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So knowing that you do have a support system, you may feel very alone right now. You may feel very alone right now. But you do have a support system, and I want you to rely on them in this moment. Do not let your pride get in the way. You have a support system. The Five of Pentacles is saying the reason why all of this is happening is because you're learning a lesson in what the lack mentality truly means. Some of you are like literally losing physical property. Some of you are don't have enough money to get through the holidays. And a lot of times society can put the pressure on us to buy the gift, buy the gift, buy the gift. I don't do that. I don't buy gifts for Christmas anymore. People get my love, affection, and attention all year round. And we usually have like a small little like family celebration with my kids and me, and like separately from Christmas, just because. And again, it's not that I don't like the holidays, it's that I don't like what they've become to represent. Okay, it's about family and coming together, right? But some of you are seeing with this Five of Pentacles, some of you are seeing how your own lack mentality got you to the Tower. How you not even believing in yourself, because that Five of Pentacles doesn't have to be material, although I do realize that there are very real situations where people don't have money right now. And this is this is what Venus is kind of putting, the Venus with Saturn and Venus with Pluto. This is that pressure, that Five of Pentacles pressure from Venus, because she doesn't just represent love, she represents financial security and abundance, right? And she is showing you where you've been doing it wrong the whole time. Not wrong by societal standards, wrong by yourself. How you have been wronging yourself. Now, here's the thing. I've had several people comment, and it's not really that big of a deal, but I can tell when a message isn't being heard in the way that it needs to. Because they get really defensive when you're commenting on the video. And again, I don't get triggered by it. It doesn't bother me, but really allow yourself to, because those of you who are triggered by the fact that I said you're doing yourself wrong, who are going to come at me and be like, but this person did this to me and this person did this to me and the universe is shit and my Saturn returned this and like, you can blame the outside world all you want, but when it all comes down to it, what's really happening in your life is based off of how you feel about yourself and how you feel about the situation, and knowing that you can change things by just creating a little movement in your life and not blaming, I mean, maybe it was a horrible thing that somebody treated you really, really poorly, or maybe you got kicked out of your house, or maybe I don't, what, everybody's in a different time and a different place in their life, right? But eventually what that person did is now your responsibility on how you're going to react to it. Are you going to let what that person did to you ruin your life? Or are you going to let what that person did and said to you make you stronger? There comes a point in our lives where we have to leave the past in the past. There comes a point in our lives when we have to become responsible for our own actions. Yes, there are very real narcissists in the world. Yes, there are very real psychos in the world. Like, I don't even know what to call them, right? There are bad people out there and they will treat you poorly. But are they really you giving them that power and allowing them to be the reason why you're existing the way that you're existing? That should never be acceptable for you. So, and there are people that are really confident about themselves, who probably have really good boundaries up. And if you find one of those boundaries from that person and it triggers you, or it makes you feel a certain way about yourself, really think about that and be like, and why are you angry with that person for asserting their boundary? Why does that upset you so much that that person has a boundary? You see? All right, my loves. So I am still open and doing readings. I will be getting out the Taurus 2020 reading today. I'm so excited for these 2020 readings. They've been fantastic. So, well, the Aries one was good. And yeah, I love you all. Have a wonderful weekend. I will see you guys on Monday. Don't forget to sign up for the meditation tomorrow night. And yeah, get the one question reading. Bye, guys.